Subscribe to Eckovation and press the bell icon to watch the latest technology videos first.
Hey guys, welcome back to this fantastic tutorial presented to you by Eckovation. In this video, we will see the working of cryptocurrency. We'll understand what exactly is cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is created by two words, crypto and currency. Crypto comes with the word called cryptography, which is nothing but the study or a technique of securely communicating between two peers in the presence of an adversary. Okay. And the message is not meant for the adversary, which is the third party, but the peers can securely communicate. That's why we don't call it e-currency. We call it a cryptocurrency because it is backed by cryptography. And currency, anything from which you can buy, is called a currency. A legal tender is called a currency. So we have something called a digital signature in the subject called cryptography. So in cryptography, we have two types of keys. One is symmetric key cryptography and another one is asymmetric key cryptography. Let's first understand symmetric key cryptography. As you can see in this GIF diagram, Alice encrypts the document, sends the encrypted document to Bob. Bob asks what is the passphrase and Alice passes the passphrase to Bob. This is what is happening. That basically means the confidential, the sensitive document is encrypted using symmetric key cryptography, and then encrypted document plus the passphrase is given to the receiver, that is Bob. This basically means the key to encrypt as well as to decrypt the data is same. That's why we call it symmetric key cryptography. There are few disadvantages if you are sending this key, which is nothing but a digital asset, a digital key. You will be sending either via email or through some source that can easily be hacked by any hacker, as shown in the diagram. So you just have to be careful. Symmetric cryptography are fast but slightly not as safe as asymmetric cryptography. So let's understand asymmetric cryptography. As the name suggests, in symmetry we are using the same keys to encrypt as well as to decrypt. In asymmetric cryptography we are using different keys. In this diagram you can see there are 6 people who want to send some encrypted message to the receiver, which is the mailbox owner. Okay, so they will send the sensitive data by encrypting it using asymmetric cryptography. They'll use an asymmetric key, encrypt the document, send it. Once the receiver receives the document, he will use a different key which is possessed by himself only to decrypt the data on the document, and then so he can read it or use it, which is called asymmetric cryptography, where the key for encryption as for decryption are different. Normally these keys are called public and private key. So as the name suggests, public key is something like username, which you can keep it public, while private key is like a password where you cannot reveal private key to anyone. So here we go. In asymmetric cryptography, one of the very famous and oldest cryptography is the RSA algorithm. Right now no blockchain is using RSA because it's really old. I would also say it is outdated. Bitcoin is using something called ECDSA, which is elliptical curve digital signature algorithm. So this is how asymmetric cryptography work is being shown, where Alice and Bob having public and private keys. So Alice will use Bob's public key to encrypt the data, and then Bob receives it. Bob will use his own private key, because now Bob's public key is public, anyone can use it, anyone can use Bob's public key to encrypt the data. But the private key, which is only controlled by Bob, which is only possessed by Bob, will be used to decrypt the data which has been encrypted. So now this is how a transaction basically is executed in a cryptocurrency. We understood cryptography. To initiate a transaction, we have a sender and a receiver. The sender is James and receiver is Kevin. So James is going to create a message. Okay, he is going to create a message which says, I will pay Kevin $500. James uses Kevin public key to encrypt the message. Okay, then Kevin will use his own private key to decrypt the encrypted message to make sure that the money was sent to me, not to anyone else. Obviously, we are not going to use names like James and Kevin. In a blockchain network, you are given a pseudonymous identity which is called an address. An address is an alphanumeric, or I would say hexadecimal number. This is a diagram to understand public key cryptography. As you can see in asymmetric, we are using public and private key to decrypt and encrypt the data. So you can use this vice versa as well. In the previous example, we saw that the sender is using receiver's public key to encrypt the data. I'll repeat, the sender is using receiver's public key to encrypt the data, and the data can only be decrypted by the receiver by his own private key. You can also do the opposite. That is, the sender will use his own private key to encrypt the data, which is not basically encryption, it is called signing, digital signature. So Alice is a sender. Alice will use her own private key. She won't use her public key. She won't use Bob's public key. She is going to use her own private key to sign the data, not encrypt, but we'll call it signing. Then anyone in the world, anyone in the network can use Alice's public key. Okay, Alice's public key to verify whether this signature has come from Alice or not. One important thing to remember, for every private key we have only one corresponding public key. For every public key we have one corresponding private key. So we won't have a situation where one public key have 3-4 private keys and one private key have 3-4 public keys. So this is about cryptography. We studied encryption and signing both. Sending a transaction. Now this is a transaction which exactly happens in Bitcoin. Transaction is broadcasted in the form of digital message. Just like your signature provides a proof of ownership on the document, similarly signature provides a proof that the transaction is genuine. Unlike handwritten password, digital signature is unique for every transaction. Handwritten signatures are altered. It's very famous, especially in the Hindi serials, Hindi episodes which we watch at homes, where handwritten signatures are easily manipulated, but a digital signature cannot be manipulated. So this is going to be a digital signature which Kevin is going to use his private key to sign it, and he's going to sign on a message, that message which states that Kevin is paying James 5 Bitcoin. Kevin's address and James' address will be mentioned, not their exact names. So this is about cryptography. In the next video, we will see why blockchain matters. Hope you have enjoyed. See you next time, guys. Bye.